Disclaimer. Some of our content varies per video and may not be suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, in some content, we are critical of the video games, books, music, videos, and other creators on the platform. While we are a group-owned channel, our opinions expressed are solely on our own and may not always reflect the opinions of those associated with this channel. We at Novakast do not condone any and all harassment, i.g. cyberbullying, doxing, swatting, towards any of the people that we may be critical towards. How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video, and this is gonna be interesting because well, to some extent I'm gonna be responding to quite a few things in this particular video. I was gonna do it edited, but I decided, you know, fuck it, let's just go through this. And there's a lot to unpack, especially again with how unhinged some of these people are in this community. It is unbelievable, like absolutely unbelievable. But I got quite a few responses with some of the previous videos that I've made, and I've clearly made them unhappy. Some of them were kind of put under review, so I went ahead and looked this up, or at least left them in there so I can look at those and then look at the other ones. So, and I'll, you know, just for the hell of it, I'll prove them. But, looking at this, so first one from Sentinel. This was from the mental dishonesty of dog-free radicals, you know, which if I remember correctly, that was me kind of going over some of the posts from what's his face, K-Nun. But this is from Santan Perkel, which states, the famous German guy with a funny mustache was big into dogs, and so were the Russian leader, and so are the current day Russian leader, and so are many past to present murderers and serial killers. After all, dogs are man's best friend, according to who? So, I kind of funny that right off the bat, you know, the craziness, just the fucking, like, over-the-top fucking, you know, just, you know, like, overstep, where it's like, oh, if Hitler liked dogs, you know, Mussolini liked dogs, like, then you guess you're a monster too because you like dogs. That is so, like, so manipulative and so fucking dishonest. It is honestly funny at this point. It's a gem, like that right there, you know. Like I said, I'm gonna prove it because it just goes to show how freaking, like, lost in the sauce these people are. But next we have user Friday Wiggly. They post a comment on dog-free radicals, faked interaction with violent dog owner. Now that one's actually a really interesting one because I actually got a community post from K-Nun on that. So that's going to be interesting to read when we get to that in a second. But somebody by the name of Suluj8796 wrote, oh god, more delusional dog owners. Low IQ, you know, try to call back, dude. Seriously. I mean, to an extent, I mean, I find it funny that they just won't freaking, you know, actually give a good response. Just to use freaking over-the-top things. So, I'll go ahead and prove their shit, just for the hell of it. And that's already proved, so I don't know why it's in there. But, then we have Anita Romania 2223. This was okay, so this is another fun one. This was on the dog-free radical loses it over artwork. Now, As you guys remember, I responded to a video from Satana Perkle over artwork. And I think my clear statement was, you know, if you don't like the artwork, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to freaking bitch and moan about freaking artwork. If you don't like it, go look at something else. And it just, that was it. I did mention that, you know, with some of the things she did mention about the YouTube channel itself, I will say that some of the videos were weird, but like I said, you know, artwork, not my biggest, you know, freaking complaint. I'm not gonna, you know, sit in the corner like drinking, you know, a bunch of fucking whiskey and be emotionally distraught over a damn image. I really am not. But anyways, they wrote, and you think siding with perversion makes you look good? I really didn't, and I wouldn't be surprised if these people didn't actually watch the full video. But anyways, it's funny that they want to say that. It's very clear what type of person you are. You know, sorry. It's very clear what type of person you are while attempting to ridicule someone for calling out the obvious, sick and disgusting zoophile hiding behind the guise of art. Well done, Satan. There needs to be more people like you. No, there isn't, or no, there shouldn't. Willing to put themselves out there and expose the sick dog culture for what it is. First, again, as I pointed out, well, actually first, I should point out that, you know, I'm sure these people have hopefully heard the phrase, you know, assumptions make an ass out of you and me. So making assumptions about how, like, the type of person I am just makes you look like an ass. But anyways, as I said before, I will say, like, when she brought up the YouTube videos, yeah, no, that was weird. Like, with her, you know, kissing her dogs in the mouth, that was really, really weird. I did point that out. But again, in terms of artwork, in terms of, like, what's posted on freaking DeviantArt, you know, again, fucking DeviantArt. It's in the goddamn name. Like, seriously. There are things, like, far worse things. Like, seriously, there is far worse fucking things on DeviantArt than there is of a cartoon image of a dog with a banner that says the sexiest dog. There really isn't. And if you guys are that fucking butthurt over that, you guys are fucking delusional. Also, I want to point out that too, like, literally, like, again, DeviantArt, far worse stuff. There is literal fucking porn on DeviantArt, and you're bitching over this. I know, and, you know, I'm gonna say this, like, if people are mad that I'm, you know, saying that they're bitching about it, you know what? No, I'm not gonna freaking sugarcoat it at this point. You guys are that fucking butthurt over a cartoon dog with a banner, sexiest dog, when there's literal fucking porn on DeviantArt. It really goes to show where your priorities are. You think you would be worried about that shit? And again, you know, like I said, as I kind of joked around, it would have made more sense if she was, like, if it was actual, like, furry shit. But no, it's a dumb fucking image. It's like, why would you spend a fucking video? So it was brought to my attention that apparently the artwork video that Santanan Perkle she's either removed it or has put it as unlisted or privated. So it's not there. Like, you don't see that video whatsoever. It would have been towards the beginning. But I come to find out too that looking at she left a comment on, I don't think I have this up. Let's go ahead and pull it up real quick. Oh, and by the way, I want to point out too, real quick, there's something I wanted to actually kind of talk about just briefly. Because I thought this was kind of interesting. Left a comment on dog abuse is a distraction, Justice for Dogs is BS plus more from K Nunn official. And if you scroll down, though the dog video got copyright claimed and deleted by the disgusting bestiality artist. With K Nunn writing, "Oh, what the hell? They're constantly stifling us." And then Sentinel Perkle were like, "I sent you an email." So here's the thing. Here's something that I want to say. Like, I want to point out, this is an observation, especially when it comes to copyright. Because, dude, I've dealt with copyright many fucking times over with some of my content, even with my Let's Play videos. Normally, when you are, actually more to the point, my reaction videos. A lot of times when you are doing when you're copyright claimed, you're using content. Like, literally, if they have a reason of, like, suggest that you're, using their content and re-uploading it, then that's a reason. But in reality, like, she didn't actually use content. She actually, and I've showcased the video too, so you guys can check it out if you want. But she didn't actually show content. Besides the fact that she had the cartoon dog, there was no video, nothing. So it begs the question if she actually was reported. And I would have to guess, if anything, this particular artist caught wind of the video and reported her for harassment. Which, honestly, that would make much more sense. Because, like I said, there was no actual video that was shared in that freaking video. It was just her screenshots scrolling down, looking at, showing the various different freaking things. So, I'm going to say, allegedly, she was hit for harassment, not for copyright. So, again, it continues to go to show, these individuals and their behaviors and the lengths they will go to prove themselves right. But going back to the initial stuff. So, going through more of this. So, going back, War on Dogs. You ask and you shall receive. Check out this fine channel of dog-loving brethren fantasizing about murdering human beings. So it was not that one. That one's going to come up in a second. So this is the image. So this is putting it mildly. Don't end up a missing 411 all because you had to mess with someone's dog. Yes, we are dangerous. Just don't forget it. This was from Matt Hilde. The image reads, "If you hurt my dog, I can make your death look like an accident." And I'm assuming this is posted by a hate channel. But, I feel like this is another thing where it's like, this is like another... How do I... Oh my gosh. This is like... Do you really think that people are... Are you really that freaking, like... Are you really that much of a snowflake? Like, seriously? Like... War on Dogs. Like, that's a genuine question I have for you. Like, are you really that much of a snowflake that you see an image like that and you immediately think that they're actually gonna do it? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You guys are so fucking lost in the head. Like, seriously. You really think that would be a genuine thing? Like, they would actually do it? They would actually, kill you and then make it look like an accident? Are you, and you know what? Considering how we've been responding to some of these people, oh my god, yeah, they would actually believe this. They would actually believe this. This is... Oh my gosh. This is... Oh my gosh, this continues to show me... By the way, I want to point out too, that... And I'm going to approve this image. I'm going to quickly approve that. But, freaking A. I can't believe that you would actually think that they were threatening you. Like, that was a legit thing. That goes back to the freaking, you know, image. Like, the freaking image thing. It's like... Do you really think people are going to actually kill you for trying to attack their dogs? I mean, if anything, here's the thing. It's like, why are you trying to attack their dogs in the first place? Like, seriously. No, this is a serious question. Like, why would you think it would be appropriate to attack them? What, to, like, you know... Like, what? Like, what's the reason? But... It gets better. You know what? I'm going to say this, because this person, the same person, on the same fucking video, linked a video to me. And no joke, like no fucking joke, it makes me question if they actually do the research or look things up properly. Because the video that this person sent me was a video from a channel called AME, Animal Advocacy, and it is called Cult of Dog Haters Promoting Violence Against Animals. It is freaking... And I actually did respond, like, left a comment on them saying, I've responded to a few of these people. They are lost in the sauce. They claim they are realists, but in reality, they are nothing but radicals. So... Good God. This... You, like... What were you thinking with posting that video? Seriously. Or it's like... By the way, the advocate, or AME, I've actually went and subscribed. He talks against you guys. He showcases how disgusting some of your behaviors are. Apparently, some of you talking about poisoning animals. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. Just because you don't like an animal. You know, and it's funny that you guys talk about, you know, how we're violent, that we're the ones that freaking, that we go out of our ways to want to harm people, that we are a cause of people dying. You know, fuck you guys. You guys are talking about killing animals. You guys are fucking sick in the head. But, oh, it gets better, because we still haven't talked about some of the other comments that I've gone through. But... I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Because, we have already responded to those. Just for the sake of it, all your arguments have been debunked. For so many times, dog lovers just refuse to listen and make sense. You know, there's so many times where I've tried to play devil's advocate with you know, this community. And no matter what arguments I can bring to them, what particular, you know, sense I can try to make, these people don't want to listen. And no matter what I say or do, they are just, they don't want to listen. But anyways, going forward, this is Sentinel from that exact video. The dog-free radical loses it over artwork. Being a dog realist is not being a radical. Why would anyone be okay with bestiality? I never said that. I find it funny that she wants to assume that I am for some reason okay with bestiality, even though I clearly stated, and which again, it begs the question if they actually watched the full video, because I was with her on one fucking point, and that was some of the content that was on the YouTube channel, which is really fucking weird. But again, where was it suggested that I was okay with bestiality? I fucking have to ask that question. Show a time, you know what? So considering the fact that this woman was so fucking dishonest about the fucking bullying thing, show a timestamp where I actually said I was okay with bestiality. That I was okay with her behavior. Go on. I fucking recommend. I ask you to, you know, find a timestamp where I said that. I doubt you will. All right. So, anyways, why shouldn't it be discussed? I mean, at this point, like I said, it's a fucking image. Why would you care? Like, why would you bend over backwards and just, freaking just cause yourself so much emotional distraught over a damn image that you literally could just click off? You sound very casual to the fact that people are doing this type of stuff with their dogs. I just don't fucking care. Do I find it weird? Yes. Am I gonna fucking bitch and moan and freaking, act as if, it's the end of the world? No. And post it on, or to the public and get tons of views and support. And as I stated too, I want to point out too, as I stated before, that if it was actual, like, situation that YouTube was, unfortunately, because of terms of service, they have the rules. If it's not against the terms of service, then there's not much we can fucking say about it. That was the point, and that was another point I made. So, anyways, continuing. Do you think it's okay to do stuff like this or like that to an animal? Do you think it's okay? I have to redirect that question with Sentinel Perkle. Do you think it's okay for people to, go around your guys' public forums, your guys' freaking community, and talk about poisoning fucking animals? I'm very curious. Anyways, and do you think this type of illegal content, not really illegal, considering that, again, if it's not in the terms of service or against the terms of service, again, it's fucking weird. I admit that, but I can't fucking, you can't say it's illegal when, clearly, so far has been taken down. Should be freely shared on easily accessible online platforms. By the way, furry is a form of zoophilia and many times pure bestiality. Okay, and like, I think we both understand that. What's the fucking point? Anyways, continuing on the next one, Hilo. I see a lot of people say animals and refer to only dogs, which I'm not a fan of. There is thousands of more animals. Ask that about, kind of mention that to the dog hater community. I'm very curious of what they have to say. More and be like, oh, you don't care about people. You don't care. But anyways, okay, so this, and I think this is in his community post, because he did a very long community post towards me. So I just want to make sure that this is, so I'm not going to read this part right now, because I actually want to, if anything, I'll read that post now and then read this comment. So anyways, so he made a really long comment or post on his own channel. So, at Novakast, you are so dishonest. How? It's revolting. I want you to stop making videos about me if all you're going to do is lie. When did I ever lie? When did I ever lie? On the other hand, you can just keep promoting my content. It's funny you say that, but you added me on your post. So in turn, you kind of promoted me too. So, good job there, buddy. But the fact that you feel the need to so shamelessly distort reality is telling. You haven't pointed out any contradiction. Yes, I have, many times. However, your video is still unworthy of a video response and can be dealt with here. Okay. Won't take too long either. Clearly. Considering the long post. But anyways, you took my post out of context and lied in your video title about how I fabricated it. When I did not. I didn't fabricate anything, as those were actual screenshots from an interaction I had. So, the post in question, by the way, this was in response to the dog-free radicals inbox faked. Now, I did that on purpose, by the way. So just to, just for the hell of it. So let's say, like, you are let's just say, actually, if anything, you know, let's do an example. Like, I want to do an example here. I'm going to open up a word. There's a reason I did that, because a couple of movies have actually, and by the way, I myself and my friends here at Novakast have done this exact kind of thing for our for a lot of our things. So let's go ahead and so we got so let's write a text, like, let's say Novakast is a liar. So let's say, you know, for you to smile a little bit, let's say, like, I wrote Novakast is a liar. Now, not a liar. Okay. And then the box right here. So, in a sense, I'm doing something that we do periodically, or at least I've done for a few of my Let's Plays and, you know, live streams, where, in a sense, this has two titles in some retrospect. And I'm kind of copying a title that was, or title scheme that they did for an anime titled Neon Genesis Evangelion. So what they would do, like, this was like the reboots. So what it was like, let's say Neon Genesis. I'm gonna fuck up the thing. I know. This is just as an example. Then Gelion, you can not advance. So in a sense, so two different meanings for the title. So in a sense, you have Neon Genesis Evangelion, you can not advance, or Neon Genesis, you can advance. So again, two different titles because I have this box thing. A few other people have done this too. So in a sense, me doing the so-called dog-free radicals faked interaction with violent dog owner. Again, two different titles. So in a sense, I did not, you know, I mean, it's implied. It's kind of implied. But here's the thing. In terms of your post here, where you claim that I took you out of context, what other context besides the freaking screenshots? Unless you recorded yourself actually having this interaction or had it on video, there is no other context but the screenshots, which I'm trying to find that right now, which I'm hoping you did not delete it as I'm making this video. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, anyways. So, yeah. I basically took... Even though it's broken apart, I literally took what you posted yourself, and used that context to make my video. So, right there. Everything that was in your video, or in your comments right here, that's what I used. That was the only context I had in terms of the conversation. Nothing else. So no, liar, I did not take you out of context. You yourself left with me the only context I could use for that video. Now, in terms of, the comment about you fabricating it, many channels fucking do that shit. You do realize that, right? And considering the fact that, again, you have one other channel, who's to say that you have other channels that you use to boost up comments? Or, for that matter, create interactions of quote-unquote violent dog owners. Anyways, so, continuing. My prison reference was contextual. I was in response to someone else first saying the think people who... Okay, grammar. Who take matters into their own hands, as you said, should go to jail. Which would mean someone who's being menaced on their own property by a loose dog, whether it's owned or by someone or not, is immaterial. It kinda is. It very much is. It'd be the same thing as a person charging you with a knife in their hand. Yeah, the difference though is you have a person who is, charging you with a knife, and then you have a dog. It's really not. But anyways, people end up unaliving dogs because these pets, in quotes, are objectively dangerous, and a loose random dog trespassing on someone's property should not be given the benefit of the doubt or the chance to invade someone else's yard in the future. So what happens if a person invades your yard? I mean, it's not just dogs that do that, it's people too. You have people that are burglars, you have people that are murderers. So does that automatically give you the right to kill someone? I mean, especially, let's face it, considering the fact that, first, for a lot of people, I wouldn't be surprised if you have these people that were like, oh wait, so it's a human, it's not a dog. Let's just let them, no, they more likely would be like, hey, there's a person trespassing, let's go ahead and, kill them. Standby principle. Like, are you going to, do the same thing to an individual who's trespassing your house? What if that person has a gun? Like, what if that person is, like, instead of just trespassing your yard, breaks into your house? They have a gun. Are you going to try to, unalive them immediately? No, they're going to freaking shoot you. But anyways, especially when unrestrained, we're talking about dogs, not cottontail rabbits. Okay. Also, genius, what I meant when I stated I never said nothing about myself killing this random a-hole's dog. That's exactly what I meant. I mean, if this douchebag has a dog that's barking incessantly at all hours, then I was saying I feel in a just world, okay, they get euthanized by the authorities, not that I personally or someone else is going to go unalive this literal dog that second, you shithead. I think I got this person heated. I definitely feel like I've gotten this person heated. Which is exactly what this typical dog worshiper dared me to do. Are you sure about... Okay. On another note, I only post under my other channel with the same name. You dishonest troglodyte. I don't use alts pretending to be someone else, as you implied. As I said before, many people, make fake accounts. And considering, the fact that, again, you have another alt account, I wouldn't be surprised if you had many more. That's the point I made. You really are the worst for making this up and attributing it to me. There is actually one person who makes anti-dog content who actually does the alt account thing, but it's not me. And we don't claim him. Sure you don't. We don't need to make up interactions with dog nutters. In fact, the culture you support is full of, you can't make this stuff up. Okay, I'm kind of curious about the comments from this post. Only comment was, wait, let me see, newest. Not only are trespassing dogs bad, but they are always the hyper-aggressive blockhead breeds. At best, you might get a small, dumb Shih Tzu dog, but even they have a chance of biting if you try to move them out of there. Also, even if the dog isn't big enough or doesn't attack a person, people's non-dog pets are still at risk. Past the selfishness and carelessness of letting their dog run free everywhere. I feel that even if you like dogs, you can't deny a lot of things you say are true. They do smell, they are dirty, they lick their asses and genitalia all the time. They roll around in mud or muck. They're noisy. Dog attacks happen daily, multiple times a day. Some of these dogs have been shown nothing but love and still attack. I say we need to go by case, but that's your assumption. I could go on, but you get the point. Denying these truths is just ignorant. Okay. Dog people can outright agree with you that dogs cause severe damage, such as provoking bears to attack, and call you cringe for hating dogs at the same time. Their same phrase. I don't believe that this type of nutter even truly likes dogs in general, though he would never admit it. He just likes dogs and doesn't like to see all this information exposing. Okay. This is what dog people do. They look at their mutt as if it were a person, since that is so funny. Person, so much effort and resources into the worthless mutant. Imagine that it's some type of rewarding activity. Yep. I think it's a form of narcissistic shame. Are you fucking you dumb fucks? Oh my god. Are you serious? Because they view their dog as an extension of themselves. I feel like I should trigger them with holding up my dogs towards the end of the video. You know what? I will. I think I will. But going back. So that was the post. That was that one post from K9. You know, honestly, like I said before, you know, you can't claim that I took you out of context because, again, the only context in question was the fact that, you know, what you posted on your own community. Second, in terms of, you know, the context, I mean, by the end, as you pointed out, let me read it again, just so we can get this out of the way. Okay. Nutters are beyond psychotic. They're constantly admitting they at least fantasize about ending a human being's life over a damn dog. They never admit their own or their role in what might lead to a dog hypothetically getting itself confiscated, injured, or taken out of the equation. The peace and quiet and physical safety of people around the dog nutter doesn't matter to the selfish entitlement miscreant. Now the original question was for someone else asking, did he change it? If they can illegally shoot and kill their neighbor's dog if it invades their property, whilst barking and or growling. And that led up to this I mean, so going back, if a dog is barking or growling, no, you shouldn't, have the right to shoot the dog. That's a fucking stupid thing. And if you really think that you are within your right, if you're that fucking butthurt of a dog barking, then you need, I mean, honestly, I think you really need to, considering that there's so many worse things in the world that, cause noise pollution. You might want to question your sanity. Like, seriously. But anyways, this was the initial thing. Again, this was the context that I used. So, original comment. I wish dog owners who knowingly kept barking pests who annoy and torment neighbors would go to prison. So you, again, and it's funny, like he tried, in the perfect world. So, because person has a dog that's barking, the person should go to prison. And that the dog be euthanized, which, by the way, again, by definition, means that the dog gets killed. So, and I love that, again, they say, note, I said nothing about killing this weirdo's dog. Again, no, euthanize does mean kill. So you are a fucking liar to try to claim that I'm the liar. So, which the person did comment, I dare you to try to kill my dog, or you're the one who'll end up dead. Which, again, whether this was a legit situation, I doubt it is. I don't believe it. Then I will say that was over the top. But overall, it's a dumb post. But again, I'm not a liar. I clearly, that was what was implied. I did not take you out of context. You can grow up now. Anyways, going back to the comments, there is another one from him. Another important note. I only post under my other account with the same name. I don't use alt. Okay, so this is pretty much what he wrote in the other one. You really are the worst for making this up and attributing it to me. You know what? I'm going to say this. With how far you guys go to try to, spew this rhetoric, I wouldn't second guess it. I think a lot of people wouldn't second guess the fact that you may have an alt account. Like, truly. I don't think it's... At this point, I don't think it's even questionable whether or not you would use an alt account or not. Considering how many times people have, like, changed the names to different names, or used alternate accounts to avoid bans. I mean, several of the people on your guys' side have literally, spewed death threats or brandished weapons, calling out names of people who have called them out. I've spoken about these people in the past, so have many others. So, for you to claim that, we don't use alt accounts is complete and utter bullshit. But, anyways, going back. Next comment from War on Dogs. The dog free, and this was, again, dog free radicals faked interaction with violent dog owners. If we react on a case-by-case basis, how do we prevent the next attack from occurring? Which, honestly, that's actually a really good question. Because, honestly, at this point, and you know what? I don't, you guys aren't going to like this answer, but here's the real thing. I mean, in reality, for a lot of, especially with people who own dogs, I mean, dogs need to be trained. Dogs, with proper training, because again, it's a domesticated animal. And I know you guys aren't going to like this, but let's face it, there is, especially with any other animal that we've domesticated in the past, there is a sort of risk/reward with the dogs. Yes, they are, in a sense, they come from wild animals, but they have been ingrained in this community or this society for so long that we have found ways to train these animals to perform various tasks. You guys might not want to believe it, but that is the truth. Now, in terms of, like, especially with a lot of situations, properly train the animal, having them have some exposure in terms of, like, animals, or kids. And unfortunately, especially with a lot of people who have families, having them exposed to, certain, parameters at a younger age, like as when they're puppies, helps them train them to have that sort of temperament with different people. Be like, okay, I've been around with small kids. Okay. Now, granted, there are situations where, when a dog gets older, their temperament changes. Granted, that does happen. There are dogs who have, again, prior experience with owners that are pieces of shit, who've treated them badly, who abuse them, and unfortunately, they have that temperament where they don't trust humans and eventually do attack. There is their temperament too. So, it's only a matter of understanding and recognizing certain cues with the dogs. That's another thing that really fucking matters in terms of trying to prevent attacks. Another thing too, when you're in public, again, a lot of times I don't agree with it in terms of like public exposure with dogs. Dogs that are brought, unless it's a service animal, because again they're trained to act a certain way towards different people. Besides service animals, dogs in public spaces like grocery stores, restaurants, etc. should not be allowed. In terms of like dogs being in parks, all the dogs need to be fucking leashed, especially those that recognize that their dogs have a certain temperament. Because again, whether it be them going after a small dog or a small kid, those owners should recognize that their dogs aren't, or in a sense would be appropriate in that situation. Now, I wanted to point out too that especially in terms of prevention, unfortunately, just like let's say people drinking and driving, or murders, rapes, etc., there's so much things that we can do to try to prevent a situation from happening, like various laws and so on, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to prevent every single fucking instance. Now, by the way, in a perfect world where, dog attacks don't happen, rapes don't happen, people drinking and driving doesn't happen, that would be great. But we're in the real world. And unfortunately, things fucking happen. And again, I'm not trying to justify, people being mauled by fucking dogs or being shot, raped, or etc. That's not the point I'm trying to make. That's not, and I'm sure people are going to strew that as like, oh, he's just like, except like, no. We do our best to try to prevent it. But there are those situations that fall in the cracks. And honestly, at this point, especially when it goes by a case-by-case basis, when it fucking happens, then we need to hold those people fucking accountable. If the dog needs, in that situation where a dog attacks and mauls somebody, even fucking kills somebody, then yes, that dog should be euthanized. If a dog is causing problems, killing chickens, and unfortunately has tasted blood and could be a risk factor to other people, then yes, that dog should be euthanized. But to claim that all dogs are the problem, all dogs that, in terms of this, like, that we need to just get rid of the problem all in general by getting rid of all dogs, is unfucking realistic. Again, there are going to be situations where you're going to have, dog attacks, and those certain situations fall through the cracks. But at the same time, we need, in terms of like case by case, we literally need to go after the individuals or the situations where it is happening. Not go after everybody because they own a dog. That is unrealistic. So, anyways, that's my response to that comment. Now, next comment down the line, and I think this is the last one. So, another comment from War on Dogs. It's too bad but I answered that question for you in a previous video, and it got deleted, which I'm kind of curious if this was one of the ones that she or they posted in the that was held for review. So let me quickly put that one up. Yep, nope, it was. So, so I answered the question for you in a previous video and it got deleted. Not saying you did. So both those comments weren't deleted, by the way. So, you know, assumptions makes an ass out of you. So, but anyways, and I find it again, and it's funny that, you know, one picture is kind of, you know, a non-issue, because again, you just assume that person's going to actually do it, and the other, you basically posted a video for a dog advocate, which kind of makes me question where your priorities are at, or if you're really looking up the things that you're researching the things that you are posting for us. So, all in all, that was quite a bit that I had to go over in terms of this video. But I want to talk about something, because with some of these responses, I have been, you know, responding to quite a bit. And one thing is very clear to me. These individuals, these people who have spent so much time and energy just, you know, discussing one particular animal, like over and over and over and over again, it's clear, like, anybody with the right mind can look at this and be like, these guys are obsessed. These guys are, you know, just obsessed and just consumed by their own fears of a particular animal. And honestly, nothing you say or do is going to really, like, truly, really, you know, convince them that maybe they need to kind of, like, take a step back. Like, maybe, like, just look at some of the issues and rethink the way they're going about it. Because at this point, these individuals that are that go out of their way to, you know, just try to shame an entire community and, you know, act as if, you know, they're all high and mighty, it's not the best way to go about it. It really isn't. So, and honestly, I feel like I'm going to end up being dragged along with them. So, I was thinking about this for a while. And you know what? I've said my piece. These people, again, are fucking nuts. So, I want to focus on greener pastures. I want to focus on other things. And this, I want to say, it has been almost hilarious to see these people scramble, to see these people, you know, just, you know, wriggling around and, you know, act as if, you know, they are, you know, that they're the ones that care about humanity. They're the ones that, you know, go out of their way to care about actual human issues. When in reality, they're only focused on their own phobias. They're only focused on what they're afraid of. They don't truly care about human issues. They really don't. They just want to, and they'll do everything in their power to prove themselves that they're the ones in the right, that they're the ones, you know, at the top of the pedestal. So, I'm not for now. I'm gonna say for now, I'm not gonna have you guys dragging my ass with you. For now, I'm stepping away. This was utterly fucking ridiculous. Maybe at some point I might do another video, but for now, these people are, again, just fucking insane. Like, really, truly. Considering, you know, the fact that, you know, they contradict themselves, their beliefs, their motivations, their goals are way too unrealistic. And in terms of like trying to make arguments, by trying to have a conversation, there is no middle ground whatsoever with these individuals. So, peace, adios, dos vidania, you know, all that crap. You guys are fucking lunatics. And you know what? I'm done. I'm done for now. This has been great. You guys, to just continuously showcase how fucking crazy you guys are. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you all for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on all of our socials, description down below, as well as check out our daily content, weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob, Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And again, peace.